Welcome to Wisdom Talk Radio, a collaborative community of explorers in conscious living. Welcome to today's episode of Wisdom Talk Radio. This is where we explore the depths of conscious living and how to live an expanded life. Join us to be inspired and encouraged and perhaps transformed, and to tap into a deeper sense of joy and of possibility. And living an expanded life is a continuing, ever elevating process. One part of this is remembering your original source, your original connection. Another is the activation of the codes that exist within your cells. And my guest today has brought into being a powerful way of being with both of these. So stay tuned. I'm Laurie Seymour, host of Wisdom Talk Radio and CEO and founder of the Baca Institute, home of the Quantum Connection Process. You can go over to the Baca Institute to discover your unique connection with Source, with the essence of who you are, by taking the Quantum Connection quiz. Why quantum connection? It's that we're each designed to directly connect with Source differently in our own unique way. And knowing your own style, your own archetype, opens a deeper connection with the universe. And it's one of the secrets to creating what you truly want in your life, because who you are is exactly who is needed. My guest today is Wendy Hutchinson, who is an intuitive quantum soul healer. That word quantum again. She helps people heal their deepest soul traumas and embody their true soul essence. Her mission is to support those feeling called to a higher purpose and know that there is something more. Her quantum soul healing sessions clear the light body of distortions in the energy field and remove things in the biology, preventing people from stepping into their own power. Wendy is the author of Finding the Path of Me, Awakening to Remembering Who You Are and Why You Are Here, which is a guide for the personal ascension journey. She also has a podcast. I was just a guest on her podcast, and her podcast is The Path of Me. Welcome, Wendy. I am really excited to continue our conversation, because we had a really potent conversation a few weeks ago, and then we recorded your podcast. Well, today it's yesterday, but we know how time is. So welcome to Wisdom Talk Radio, Wendy.
Well, thank you. It's such an honor to be here. Thank you for the invitation.
With pleasure. So to continue to leap off perhaps from what I was just sharing about you, we're experiencing such profound change right now. Such an intense global shift, such a powerful rocking of the universe, so to speak. And we're responding to that. People are responding to that in so many different ways. I'd love for you, so we can create a kind of ground to speak from, to touch on how this shift relates to humanity at large, relates to the individual, and what it has to do with energy.
Right. Such a great question.
Or perhaps series of questions there.
Yeah. Well, I'll try to keep it short and brief.
No. Take it where you will.
Well, we are going through an incredible shift. We're shifting from an old earth paradigm into the new. And that relates directly to energy, frequency, and vibration. So frequency and vibration, there are gradients of it, and there are dimensional bandwidths of frequency. that correlate to specific dimensional realities. So you can have 10 people in a room who are holding different frequency, and they will all be experiencing different realities. Okay, so that's the dimensional experience, just to give people a foundational knowledge of what we're talking about. So the old Earth paradigm was existing in a 3D, three-dimensional reality. It was very dense. There was a slow unfolding of things. Linear time was really, really drawn out because energetically everything was vibrating at a very slow rate. And as you raise in dimensional experience, the rate of spin is much faster. So time begins to collapse into the now. Truth begins rising because the higher frequencies cannot hold the density of deceit, division, war, all of the things that people are being triggered by right now, so hard, right, are being confronted through the external realities that are presenting. And these trigger points are very uncomfortable for individuals because it's triggering deep remembrance of trauma within themselves. Deep remembrance and triggers of, say, abandonment or oppression or enslavement or a lack of safety and security, a lack of abundance, whatever your core thing is that you're here to heal during this beautiful human experience on Earth is usually your biggest and deepest trigger.
And those triggers might not be from this lifetime. They might be something you came into.
Experience, they're never from this lifetime, but we've recreated the experience in this lifetime to push those pressure points so that we can pay attention, sit with it, be curious. What is this triggering in me and why? Because people tend to only live on the surface, right? People are always focused on their job and their families and their kids and the activities and the sports and the bank account and paying the mortgage. And there's so much survival in all of that because we have to, of course, do all of those things. That's part of the human experience. However, many people aren't as in tune with the reflections back because everything's a mirror, right? Our reality is a mirror to help us to examine those emotional traumas and wounds, heal, and release. And as we ratchet up the frequencies on the planet, we're just being bombarded by frequency right now. It's you can look at the Schumann resonance, which measures the frequency between the surface of the Earth and the outer atmosphere. It measures solar energy coming into our beautiful system here. It has gotten to such elevated levels that the measurement equipment will just often just stop. They cannot handle the intensity of the frequency. So imagine that you, as a human on this planet, are bebopping around in your life and you are being sandblasted by energy. Whereas before you could kind of just, it was so slow moving and so low vibrationally, you could just kind of take your time and move along and, let things unfold. We are so accelerated now that everything's happening in the now. You think and you pivot and it's there in front of you, so there's this incredible acceleration as the frequency rises. Dimensionally, we are going to light. When they say you're going to light, we are accessing higher vibratory fields. And as a result, we have to integrate and assimilate those energies within our biology. And we also have to increase our capacity to hold those frequencies.
Yeah. And so many people that are coming to me in one form or another, in one way or another, are saying, I don't know what's going on. I feel bombarded. I feel like there's so much happening, but I don't know how to deal with it.
Right.
Because as people come into this new recognition, they are, or maybe it's just before the recognition, there's the experience. They start to have this experience and they
Right.
don't know how to decode it.
Right. It's very disorienting, especially if you have been living a largely unconscious life,
Hmm.
right? Where you haven't had any tools or practices that
Hmm.
guide you back in to connection with yourself at source,
Yeah.
with your soul, with your divinity, the truth of who you are. Because
Hmm.
as we go through life, we are just putting layers and layers of masks on
Hmm.
society and our family dynamics and our religious beliefs and demographics really shape who we are or who we believe we are. And to survive and belong and be accepted, we just start to mask up and armor up. So we
Yeah.
armor up our hearts, we become chameleons, and we can be whoever you need us to be. You might be someone in your family, nuclear
Hmm.
family dynamic. You might be someone in your professional job. You might be someone different with your friends.
Hmm.
We are such chameleons because we've learned that to survive,
Yes.
we need to belong. And in the old paradigm, that was very much true.
Exactly. Yeah,
You
this
had
is not
to
a
have your
made up
tribe.
false thing.
Yeah, you had to have your tribe. You had to assimilate. You had to, do whatever it took for survival, you know. And we are elevating, we're shifting, and the focus is now coming back in. Like every single person now is responsible for their own enlightened journey, their own fostering their own connection with source, trusting what they're receiving, because people are waking up, and by that, their consciousness is expanding. In order to do that, you must release trauma, density, limiting beliefs, all the things that you've been carrying. If you can imagine pulling an 18-wheeler behind you of lifetimes of shit. I don't know if I could swear on this podcast. I apologize,
Sure.
but just the density and weight of it
Yes.
behind you. Imagine what's possible for you when you can just let go
Yeah.
and release it, through whatever means or tools or experience. Sometimes it's a real trauma event, like a near-death experience
Mhm.
or a car accident. That's just an energetic release with that impact. And then the rehabilitation forcing you to focus on your recovery, focus on yourself, nurture
Yes.
yourself. We're all so focused on the external, but it's a time now to bring all our energy back, right? To cope,
Mhm.
we have to do our inner work.
We have to do our inner work. And that is the remembering. That is the what is the truth and
Right,
going for that.
right.
So you've used the word ascension a
Mhm,
few different ways and a few different
mhm.
times. Can you talk about what that means to you, what that is?
Ascension for me is always reaching for the highest consciousness. It's always expanding your consciousness. And if I were to use a metaphor of it, it would be like walking a spiral up a mountain.
Hmm.
When you're at the base of the mountain, you have a very unique view. You see trees, you see streams, you see things at eye level, right? Ground level. And
Hmm.
you have a perspective of what's in front of you.
Hmm.
And then you travel the spiral and you go up the mountain and you heal a bit and you hit that same nexus point, and the view that you're witnessing is different. You have a little more clarity. Oh, I can see their clearings out in the distance. I can see their mountains out in the distance. And your perspective starts to shift because you now see things a little differently.
Mm-hmm.
You've journeyed, you've struggled, maybe you've learned something about yourself on this trek and spiral up the mountain. And you continue to go higher, and then you go higher, and you keep hitting those nexus points, and you keep looking at that vista, and you keep having more and more clarity because the view is different as you raise your frequency
Mm-hmm.
or metaphorically travel up the spiral of the mountain. And with that comes lessons. You learn about yourself. You learn to be compassionate towards yourself. You learn how strong you are. You learn where you have been maybe carrying loads and burdens that don't belong to you. You learn that there's a lot more than this tangible touch, feel, our five senses reality. Because every time you hit that nexus point, your consciousness expands and more information downloads. You have more capacity to hold light.
Mm-hmm.
You have more capacity to receive information from yourself.
Yeah.
You have more self-compassion and self-love. And also, you talk about this a lot. You begin to remember who you are as a soul and understand that you're a soul having a human experience, not a human with a soul.
And as that frequency elevates, as your body, as really as the cell is able to bring in and incorporate more and more light, and I mean this quite literally, into the biology, that changes everything in our life. That changes everything in our experience of life.
Exactly. I think as we're expanding and growing in our knowing, we start to transcend. There's a difference, and you begin to transcend into wisdom from just knowledge.
Yeah.
So knowledge to me would be like you're on a spiritual path and you're reading and absorbing and reading, and you can recite all of these things, and you're doing the breath work and you're doing the yoga and you're doing all of the practices, you have all of the tools. But you can do that and not expand your light quotient and not expand your consciousness.
Yeah.
You can be very practiced and disciplined about checking all the boxes.
Mm-hmm.
But until you embody the truth of who you are and remember who you are and begin to really ask some serious questions of yourself,
Mm-hmm.
you're just picking the scab. It's like people would come to me and say, I'm doing the work, and they're
And they
actually
are.
not doing they're
Well,
not doing
they right. They're not, they are,
deeper work, right? They're
yes,
just kind of they're
doing the
stressed.
practices. I mean, I'm trying to get at that because I have seen that over and over, and I love that you're bringing this forward. I feel like it's so important because one of the things that I've seen happen with people who get stuck in that is that they start to despair.
Start to despair, or they have a false illusion of where they are on the path.
But if they start somewhere in there, they start to feel like, oh, I still feel empty.
Because they're not moving the needle. They're going around
Yes.
in circles, like checking all the boxes and doing the ice baths and the
Oh
light
my God,
therapy.
I've never done that. Do I have to do ice baths?
Everyone's process is different, right?
I'm teasing.
What happens is you're not moving the needle, so your light quotient remains the same, your
Mm.
density remains the same, your unhealed trauma is still there, therefore you cannot move into the next level of experience.
So
And
talk a little bit about what you mean and what you have discovered, because I think you're doing very particular work in the light body that has to do with making those kinds of shifts at a very, I want to say practical, but really what I mean, it's a very profound level, but it it's not theoretical.
right. embodiment is completely different because you are living true to your soul essence every day. It's
What does that
intentional.
look like?
What that looks like is being very mindful of what I allow into my energy field. Very mindful.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to go to the Houston rodeo where it's just a sea and soup of vibration and a sea of drunk people. Okay. I'm not going to put myself energetically in that situation
Mm-hmm.
because I'm very mindful of what I allow into my energy field.
Mm-hmm.
I will say no to toxic family gatherings.
Mm.
I won't go.
Yeah. And it's not,
Toxic. And it's okay for them to be who they are.
yeah.
I have a choice to protect my energy field or make my family a priority and not drag my kids to five houses for the holidays. I mean, there's so many scenarios, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where we feel we don't have a choice because everybody's going to get mad and then you're going to hear about it and they're going to feel like you betrayed them on some level because you're not participating. It's just my experience that I know people show up consistently as themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And if there's going to be any kind of disrespect towards me, say there's that one person in the family who delays dinner for 3 hours because that person's life is way more important than the 10 family members waiting at Thanksgiving dinner, I'm not going to tolerate that.
Sometimes it shows up as people wanting you to be like them and really being angry that you're not, and that you in some way bring that light in, and not because you're doing anything, not because you're trying to impact anyone else, but that having that high frequency is impactful to others around. And if someone is there to receive and open, it's an incredible experience. But when
Yeah.
they're not, they get pushed.
They get incredibly triggered and you don't even need to speak. You just need to show up and they
Yeah,
do not like you. They do not
exactly.
want it. They're angry
Mm-hmm.
or I've had this happen several times and I didn't understand it in the beginning, right? I didn't
Mm-hmm.
understand that one of my roles was to continue to anchor higher light in here. And that as a byproduct of that, you trigger many people who are at in a different harmonic. That's just
Yes.
where
Yeah, yeah,
there's a
yeah.
vibrational difference. There's a
It's not
disharmony.
judgment. It's not judgment on your part. That's what
No,
I want to, it could sound like that, and I want to
but
underscore
it's
this.
not. For me, I explain it like, if you're listening to a radio and you're tuning the radio,
Mm-hmm.
you move from AM and then you go to FM frequency and then you go to satellite, right?
Mm-hmm.
And as long as you're in the AM bandwidth with the AM people, it's fine.
Mm-hmm.
There's a symbiotic there's energetic resonance.
Mm-hmm.
But if you move to FM, say you're transcending AM and you kind of, they have this thing, I'm from Hawaii, where they say the crab's in the bucket, where that one crab is like breaking for the surface, the top, and
Uh,
they will all grab their legs and like yank the crab back in, like you're not getting out of here.
uh,
You know, it's kind of energetically like that,
mm-hmm.
like keep moving and you kind of vibrate out of the resonance. And so people are just really triggered. And it hurt me for a long time because I'd just be having a conversation, maybe about my work. And
Mm-hmm.
all of a sudden, a friend is feeling insecure and triggered and not enough. And there's all these internal vulnerabilities.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just talking about my work, not in an egoic way, just like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited. This is happening in my practice or something. Um, and all those vulnerabilities are very raw. They're like touching raw nerves. And then instead of being able to hold it, all they can do is lash out.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And
And it
so
becomes a judgment of you.
it becomes a judgment of me, but I'm just it's a
You're the
mirrored
mirror.
experience, right? Our reality is always mirroring to us the trigger so that we can pay attention and get curious and go,
Mm-hmm.
wow,
Mm-hmm.
why, what happened?
Why did that bug me so
What
much? Why
just
did
happened?
she?
It's like,
Mhm.
oh, there was that pattern again coming around for that next layer of clearing, you know? And
Yeah.
so it's really for me, back to your original question about being really mindful of following my inner knowing. I check
Mhm.
in. I check in. Should I respond to this text right now?
Yes.
Yes or
Yes.
no? Should I answer this call? Yes or no? Do I need to give my child space right now? Is my child going through something?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I don't need to be fixing anything. Maybe this child needs space right now. Yes or no? And then I honor it.
You, as I like to say, although this pushes some people's buttons, you listen and you obey.
Yes, exactly.
Now, people have a hard time with that word obey, but this
Mhm.
is about surrendering to presence, to what we're given in our own inner wisdom. And wouldn't we be foolish if we ask for that guidance and then say, "Oh well, no, sorry, I don't like that."
So many people don't have the courage to follow it because it will feel sometimes like sacrifice because you will lose a friendship.
Yeah,
You will lose a relationship with somebody you deeply loved, maybe a partner in
yeah,
your life, because they
yeah,
are not interested in walking beside you on the
yeah.
journey. They're choosing to stay and remain the same. And everyone has a personal choice.
Mm,
Not our role to It's our role to hold space and support the people that want to come with
mm-hmm,
us.
mm-hmm.
But it's also a gift to both of us if your decisions and actions are telling me, um, I'm not interested
Right.
in what you're about or what your path is. That's not for me.
Yeah.
It's a gift for both of us then to part ways instead of continue to come together and have this vibrational it's like oil, it becomes oil and water where you
Mm-hmm,
just there's just
mm-hmm.
no in the middle. You know, you can have love and compassion for that person
Absolutely.
forever, and you can pour love in. But I think it's really important to know who is supporting us really intentionally and authentically, who
Mm-hmm,
is loving us in the way that we deserve
mm-hmm.
instead of harming us.
And not harming out of,
Not physically, but
yeah, no, well,
emotionally,
right,
right?
energetically. It's that
Energetic.
it doesn't fit. And
Yes.
we can say, well, I'm loyal and I'm going to stick around and I'm going to do this. But
And
really,
then you know what
for what
happens
purpose? I
with
do.
that, Laurie?
I
That what
do.
happened? Yeah, right. We've all done it, right? I do too. What happens is you continue to edit yourself down to make
Mhm.
it work.
Yeah.
And those of us who are truly being called forward into our power and purpose are we no longer can do that
Yeah.
and also simultaneously do the work that we're here to do.
So let's talk a little about that, about the doing the work that we're here to do. That
Mhm.
is so important. And sometimes that call or that picture, that almost demand in this kind of time and space is so big that the needing to take care of ourselves is really important in that.
Mhm.
And I know that there are those people that come to you that say, something is here and I don't know what it is.
Right, right.
So talk some about how that is
Well,
for you. And
a big part of it is trusting yourself
mhm,
and also, there are components to this, right? It's like trust,
mhm,
it's courage, it's surrender. And when I mean surrender, we've been so conditioned and programmed to have everything mapped out before we jump, right? Like before we go, it's like, but where am I going? How am I going to get there? What if I'm
mm,
driving to a restaurant? which route am I going to take? Who's coming in my car? Who am I
Mm-hmm.
meeting? Right. So there's this human need to really have all the details mapped out. But what I've found for myself and what I offer my clients is to be control,
Mm-hmm.
because control is in direct relationship to fear.
Yes.
So the more you're afraid, the more you're going to delay your start because, well, I don't know how I'm going to finance that. Well, how am I going to survive? Or what are people going to think? I mean, there's all these limiting beliefs and fear triggers that come up. So that's something that I work through with people. Like, well, let's go
Mm-hmm.
back deeper. What's the origin of that?
Mm-hmm.
Or soul human lineage. Where is that coming from, right? We can look back because the soul is very forward in the work that I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
You're
Mm-hmm.
very awake and conscious and present with me. It's not like you're just in a meditative state and things are happening. It's a very personally involved process.
Right, right. We're in
But
life.
yeah, but back to your story is, or your question is, I've had to understand that when we are in this higher frequency,
Mm-hmm.
when we're living in a 5D, a 7D experience, and I mean dimensional
Mm-hmm.
experience, depending on the frequencies we're holding, right? There's a collapse of linear time, and we're moving into a completely new paradigm. So there are no paths laid.
Mm-hmm.
You are the path. You're creating it. And I've been guided over and over to take a step, one step, only one step forward, because as you take the step, the path will appear. So take a step, even if it's just writing thoughts down or organizing your space, or whatever that's wherever we're just putting and pushing energy into the thing, breathing energy and life into the thing, big or small. Find a contact who can mentor you, find a healer who can help you move through some of the density that's just holding you back. I use this analogy a lot where you're in this hot air balloon and everything you hold is a sandbag on that balloon, and everything you can clear, thing by thing, healing a family dynamic or healing a limiting belief, you are cutting a sandbag and your balloon rises, your light quotient increases. And until you really get there, you have no idea how freeing it
Mm-hmm.
is.
Yeah.
You stop worrying about what people think. You start to dial in to your column of light and your soul knowing and your source connection and the truth for you. And you have been born with all the tools and all the wisdom and knowledge in your soul mapping before you got here. You set it up for success. You are set up for success to do the thing you're meant to do. And it doesn't have to look like an Oprah show. You don't
Mm-hmm.
need to be Oprah. You could be living your best life and inspiring people by doing that.
Exactly. And that's that soul mission that you talk a lot about. And we don't know what that is. We don't there's not it has to look like this kind of thing.
Yeah. But we are each like a thread in a tapestry. So as we are traveling and following our golden thread,
Mm-hmm.
okay, our inner guidance, just step by step, day by day, showing up as our highest and best. Some days are better than others, right? Some
Mm-hmm.
days you can't get out of bed, and some days you're slaying it. But as you are living it, and your thread is is moving forward or expanding and growing, you're unveiling it.
Mm-hmm.
It's then, weaving into the tapestry of the collective, right? We're creating
Yes.
templates and synergy, and we're creating a template to do whatever we're meant to be doing, right? This person is a baker and they're putting codes into all the bread they're
Mm.
cooking and all the meals they're
Mhm.
serving, and you're touching people energetically, and that's your little square or patch that you're adding to the fabric of
Mhm.
humanity, the collective. We
And
all
we,
matter. It doesn't matter
yeah,
what it looks like, but we all have such important roles to play, and some seem bigger than others, but they all matter, you
yes,
know?
yeah. And without your role being played, there's some piece that's missing.
Yes. Yes, and people diminish their value
Mm-hmm.
and their contribution.
Mm-hmm.
And some people are afraid of being successful at the thing. Like, ooh, that feels a little big.
Yeah.
I don't know. I want to stay in my little corner here and read and work on myself. And, but
Mm-hmm.
a lot of people
Mm-hmm.
have very specific codes and keys to share through their art or their music,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
whatever it is you're
Whatever
here.
it is. And that's why I say in every show, because who you are is exactly what is needed or who is needed
Right.
is just to speak to this, that
Yes.
we need to get to that place where we are free to express into being, to bring into being what it is our mission is.
Yes.
What that is supposed to look like.
It's up to you. It doesn't matter. There's no rules. There are no rules,
Yeah.
you know, no right or wrong. It is whatever feels resonant and right for you.
Mm-hmm.
And if you do not step forward into your power and purpose as a soul, living authentically true to you, all of the people you are here to serve will not receive.
Mm-hmm.
All of the people you are here to support with love and nurturing or baking or humor or whatever, whatever it is, healing, they will not receive what you agreed to come here at this very moment in time to do. So it's important to get, I don't know if you know Leanne Morgan. She's a Southern comedian and she's hilarious. You should check
Mm-hmm.
her out, you guys, if you haven't heard of her. But she's like, I had to put my big girl panties on and get out there. And you guys need to get your, big girl panties on and just do it.
Mm-hmm.
You
Unless you're a boy,
know?
put on your big boy panties if you're a boy.
Or big boy panties, either one, right? But sometimes we have to
Mm-hmm.
grow into ourselves. Sometimes
I
we
find
have
that often.
go into
Yeah.
big spaces that are uncomfortable and you feel like you're swimming in it. But
And then suddenly you're not.
and then you're not. You get your sea legs and you just keep going.
Yeah.
And somehow you meet the right person.
Mm.
Um, you get a beautiful review or a client comes with an open heart and gifts you something
Mm-hmm.
just because, not because you seek it, but these beautiful moments are possible because you chose to do
Yes.
what you came here to do. Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Wendy, how can people find you? Where's the best place for them to reach you?
Oh, well, I will give you my website address. It's
Mm-hmm.
alinialifecoaching.com. It's ALIN as in Nancy, EA, lifecoaching.com. You can reach out. I'm on social media everywhere. Um, Instagram at Mama Hutch 47 is my Instagram handle. And on Facebook, you can just look me up by name or my company, my business page also. But I daily post inspiring messages. I've been doing it for 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
Um, that really are messages for me, because I need to hear it. I'm like, if I need to hear it, so do you. Like, you got this.
Mm.
Or letting go, it's time to let go, or whatever the message is for them.
Whatever it is that
It's
moment.
really for me.
Thank you for
People
doing that.
resonate with that. Thank you. And
And
You
all
can
that
message,
information will be in the show
yeah,
notes, but I also like to have it, on the recording so
yeah.
that
You can
people
message
can.
me on social media, and people do, and
Mhm.
I love it. I love connecting, even if we don't work together. I I love being able to hold space for somebody or just
Yeah.
offer some encouragement and say, you got this. You don't need me. You're fine.
hmm hmm
You know?
One of the reasons that I continue to do Wisdom Talk Radio, and I've been doing it for 9 years, is simply that I know that it's important to get all of these kinds of messages out there into the world.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
it's a piece of my own mission. And sometimes I get tired and it's like, okay, and yet, nope,
Here we are,
here
nine
we
years
are.
later. I understand completely because I think to myself, this is a lot of work.
hmm
Maybe I can put it down. I check in and it's like, no, you
hmm
will continue on. I'm like, okay.
Okay. Okay.
Just keep going. And I
hmm
find the people who are meant to hear the episode find it.
hmm
And
hmm
I just want to say to the people listening that it's so important. Faith shines brightly in the dark. Just remember that faith shines brightly in the dark. And as we are watching the old paradigm crumble, it is so easy to tip into fear and
hmm
buy into the chaos and watch the news. And I just want you to be mindful of what you expose yourself to and
hmm
also discerning about what is true for you. Like ask yourself,
Yeah.
is this really true? I do that often. I do this double check. I'm like, And a lot of times, no, it's not. You're getting one perspective or
hmm
one little sliver of truth laced with a lot of other stuff. So
Exactly.
for me, reading the energy is really important, and that's a feeling you have inside. Like,
Exactly.
yes, people are up here all the time and take everything in as like fact, and
Even
it's like
when their body is going, no, 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 no.
you have to pay attention if you're kind of recoiling as you're reading it. You can feel
hmm
it like, oh, that's a no,
hmm
turn it off.
We could have a whole conversation about discernment and all the different places where that's
Yeah,
both needed and how to do that. But
yeah.
we're out of
But I mean,
time
just,
today. But
oh, boy, that was quick.
well, when
The
you're having
flash.
fun.
Yes, always.
So, thank you, Wendy. Thank you for being here, for sharing everything you're about, and for gracing us with your presence.
Thank you so much for the invitation. It was an honor to be here. Thank you, Laurie.
You're welcome. And thank you to our audience for being with us here today at Wisdom Talk Radio. Remember, you can join us here regularly for more wisdom, discovery, and illumination. If you've enjoyed today, please leave us a review because that's partly what helps other people find it. If you're listening and you say, "Ooh, my friend Jim, my friend Sally need to hear this," send it to them. Remind them there's more out here. There's more that's possible. And for you, if you want to know more about your own quantum connection archetype, go over to the Baca Institute and take the Quantum Connection quiz now. And we'll see you next time. Thanks for joining us here at Wisdom Talk Radio. We wish you well in your conscious explorations. For more information and to join in the conversation, our website is wisdomtalkradio.com or at Wisdom Talk Radio on Facebook.